Hey guys, it is I, and happy Tuesday. Yeah, so there's a lot happening and stuff, and I know I start off the video saying there's a lot happening, but no, seriously, there's a lot happening, right? And I'm going to show you two video clips in today that corresponds to things that happened yesterday and things that are happening across America, right? The reason for these clips to touch on the same things I talked about in my little shorter videos, but I'm just making this a little bit longer so you could see what I'm talking about, right? You are seeing that the markets are manipulated when it comes to the oil industry, when it comes to cryptos, when it comes to stocks, bonds, whatever. Markets are heavily manipulated, right? Yeah, bigger people with a lot more money than the average Joe like me and you, right? That control the markets. This is everybody knows this. But until significant change happens, we have to know how to play the game. And you're asking, well, how do you know how to play the game, right? How do you come to these things, right? So the two clips I'm going to show you is things people are seeing and movement that happen in the markets. You could do your own research. Don't just trust me or trust what you see on the clips. Do your own research. You'll see, like yesterday, for example, in one of the clips, the guy talks about, and this is someone who I don't necessarily agree with on a lot of his policies and stuff because of certain things. I'm not trying to make this political, right? But I could actually see and agree with what he's saying because it is very true on what he's saying in this clip about certain things that the president said that led to certain movements in the markets, that led to certain people gaining and winning in the markets just based on those moves, right? And it shows possible manipulation on somebody. We don't know who the people are, but somebody is easily made some significant gains from doing that. And then you're seeing how you locate the next possible big investment, right? Because of in the second clip, you're going to see that people are offering a significant amount of money to buy up land to do certain things, right? Like when it comes to AI structure and stuff like that. So without further ado, here's the first clip I'm referring to, right? Talking about the whole movement in the market with what was said by the president.
This is the rub, and this is what everybody's secretly wondering. So who knew? Who knew that Trump was going to call it off? And when did they know that? This is the problem. Because Trump does this all the time, where he puts out something on Truth Social or something on TV or in a press pool. And as you know, it does affect the markets, and trillions of dollars are made and lost on a whim, based on what he says, based on what he tweets. He controls the movement of all that wealth and all of that stuff. If you knew just 10 minutes before that post was going out, you could have made a lot of money. You could have placed a lot of big bets, and you could have made millions, billions, depending on what kind of capital you're working.
All right, so again, I'm not trying to get into the weeds on the politicals, like left and right and stuff like that, right? I'm just trying to make a point. So, based on what President Trump said yesterday, remember the video I was like, hey, the market, the indexes were green and stuff because he said he spoke to Iran, for context, right? He spoke to Iran and they were working on some deal, and then a few minutes later, Iran retorted back and said, no, he didn't speak to us. As a matter of fact, we are not negotiating. We are still at odds. We're trying to blow everything up and pretty much do their stuff, right? And the markets were manipulated by that, right? Oil went down, oil went back up and stuff like that. These things causes big moves in markets and allows people who are positioned correctly to make a lot of money, right? So part of getting in the winning side is to know how markets are going to move. All right, so I'm going to show you another video now that shows, hey, how you should be positioning yourself by listening to little cues in the news. Not everything is going to be like blatant, like, hey, you should buy this stock or whatever, right? This is what you should be looking for when you hear certain things. Also, these things could be used to manipulate the masses to make moves which may be counter to what they should be doing too. So take this with a grain of salt, right? This is just how I use what I see in the media to navigate and decide how I should start positioning myself.
It's my way. I'll stay and hold and feed a nation. $26 million doesn't mean anything.
Some people might find it hard to understand how Delcia Bear can turn away a $26 million offer to buy some of her land until you spend a little time with her walking the dirt road she grew up on and in the house her daddy built.
My grandfather and great-grandfather and a whole bunch of family has all lived here for years, paid taxes on it, fed a nation off of it, even raised wheat through the Depression and kept the bread lines up in the United States of America when people didn't have anything else.
Delcia is one of dozens of landowners approached by an anonymous buyer, one of the major players in artificial intelligence, likely Google or Meta or Amazon, to purchase their land. The market value for land in Mason County is about $6,000 an acre. The realtor that came to her door last April offered her and her mother about 10 times that.
They call us old stupid farmers, but we're not.
Okay, so you just listened to that clip there. Again, that clip could be, some sort of thing to create a news buzz in the market, still allow investors like ourselves to try to make plays well in advance, right? But let's say it's that. Let's look at it this way. How many people watch regular news, right? And this is something I've seen when I was investing in cryptos in the earlier days, right? They were being subtle, talking about CBDCs and all these things with XRP and Bitcoin and stuff in the news, like on Fox News and all these other news channels back in the day, making these little late night posts and stuff, putting on regular stories that the average person will watch, right? Now, this is why I want to ask you, when you watch that clip, how many people do you think saw that clip, right? And then how many people you think are going to take actionable steps on clips like that they saw, right? And that's how you know, hey, maybe this is something that needs to be looked at in a more serious manner, right? And that's all I'm saying. I am not telling you guys like, hey, this is a guarantee play, this is going to work out, right? But I own some shares of Google, and today, even though I disagree with so many things with the company, with the whole, again, not trying to make it political, but the whole Epstein list and Bill Gates and stuff, I even got some shares of Microsoft just based on that story that I found today. This is not me saying, I'm not endorsing it, I'm not saying to buy it, I'm just telling you what I actively did based on the news story and stuff. I am not endorsing anyone to buy anything. I'm not telling you to go do these things, but this is how you go about looking what's happening in the market, and then how you make plays to make moves based on what you're seeing, right? You don't wait till things start happening. You try to position yourself beforehand as best as you can, because again, at the end of the day, we are not in certain rooms, we are not sitting in certain offices, we're not the elite. Especially if you're watching my channel, I'm assuming you're not elite, and if you are elite and you're watching my channel, don't kill me. Right? And I have a songs, mind and body sometimes, right? I'm crazy a little bit, but I do get anxious and stuff, but I don't want to go just yet, sometimes. But I'm just, no, seriously though, you have to watch what the big players are trying to do, right? And keep your ears to the ground, so to speak, and just pay attention, right? So this is a pay attention moment. I'm just sharing it with you guys because I saw it, and I'm going to try and make more videos like this. If you guys like videos like this, let me know. And if you have any suggestions for any topics and stuff, just comment down below and let me know as well, right? And I'll do that. I'll try my best to do that for you guys too, right? At the end of the day, I will still invest in crypto, but we have to look at big picture stuff, because again, case in point from my own real life, like Opendoor went down to 51 cents, but then jumped up to $10. So, and that's a stock, right? You can make significant gains in short periods of time in stocks too, just like cryptocurrencies, right? It's not gamble and bet thing. It's like you have to look at certain trends and stuff. So some of these things are noticeable. It mightn't happen when you want it, but it definitely does happen. All right, take care.